Hi, my dear students. I'm going to record this video so you can see the topics that we saw the previous classes. And for the ones that have some problems with their computers, so you can see all the steps since the beginning. Okay? So I already finished this project, so I'm going to teach you how to create a new project from this stage. Okay? You don't have to close this and then reopen IntelliJ. No. You can go to the upper left corner and click where we have the hamburger menu, which is this one. Hover over the new option, don't click, and then go straight to the where it says project, and then click where it says project. And this window is going to appear. This is the window that we usually get when creating a new project. And be sure that in the left panel is selected JavaFX. And then in the right panel, we have to name our new project, which in this case is going to be GUI, which is Graphic Unit Interface _ login 4, okay, in my case. Some of you already have it, but for the ones that haven't worked in the project because of the problems with your computers, you can start. And then you're going to select here Java in language. Location, you leave it like that. In language Java. Build system, Gradle. Select Gradle, please. And then group, you leave it like that. Artifact, the same name that of our project. And the JDK is the version of your JDK. Remember that we have different versions depending on the Java version that we installed some days ago. And then you click in the button at the bottom of this screen, we have the blue button that says next. Click on it. And then do not select any of this, do not check any of these options. And then click create in the blue button, please. Okay. It is going to ask us, do you want to create a new project in this building or in a new one? I'm going to select a new one, just in case that I want to come and check something in this one. But I'm going to select a new one. That way you're going to keep your two windows with the two different projects already open, okay? Window, and then the project is being created. Remember that we have to wait until this blue line in the bottom of the screen finish preparing all the softwares, all the classes, the libraries, the FXML file that is created, when creating a new project, okay? Let's wait, it lasts a few seconds. In some other computers, this process lasts a little bit more. In some others, less. But we have to wait, my dear students. While the project is being set here, I'm going to show you our presentation. And here we already saw this about the stages, the scenes, the nodes in our application. But I wanted to tell you that now this is a new part. In a while, I'm going to explain this. Okay, this is the model view controller architecture, the one that we are going to keep using when programming this app. And in a while, or as you have seen in the classes, we have been creating FXML files, which is the view for the is the graphic unit interface, the view that the user is going to see. We have the controller where we create the classes with the name controller at the end. Remember that for each view, we are going to have one controller that is going to control that view. And also we have the model. And the model is where we interact with the information that we are going to save or that we are going to get, okay? Then here we have the login page, which is the one that we are creating here. And please If you have doubts, also you are going to be able to check the presentation. It is already updated in Canvas. And just follow the slides. They are in the correct order, so you don't miss anything. And also follow the video tutorial, this video tutorial, okay? Remember that the first thing that we have to do is to, we're going to refactor the Hello application class, but remember that when working with Gradle in IntelliJ, let me check that it already finished. Yeah, the system already finished creating the project. And the first thing that we have to do is, if we try to run this new project, maybe as you already created it, you are not going to have the same problem. Sorry, it was not this one. It was, let me open the other one, the new one. Okay, it is this one. Sorry, my dear students. So let me run this. And remember that it's going to appear an error. We have to wait. And here we have the error. Remember that the first thing that we need to check when starting a new project with Gradle in IntelliJ is to go to the build Gradle.kts file and go to line 20 just to check if here you have the correct GDK version, the one that you installed in your computer. In my case, it is 17, so it is correct. But in many other cases, it is written the version 8, and you have to change it for your own version, okay? So in my case, I am not going to change anything here because it is already, this is already okay. And then let's go to the Hello application. And then we already tried to run it. So then we have to select the little elephant that we have in the right panel. And then you're going to be able to see these options. Just open, if it is closed, just click in the GUI login for or the name of your project and the arrow so you can expand and see which other folders you have here, and then expand the tasks folder so you can see the other folders that are included in the tasks folder, and then expand the application and you are going to have this gear with the word run. Double click this one, the gear with the word run, double click, and it is going to start running, and it is going to fix the issue, okay? Once you finish, we can close this little window. And then this button that we have here, the one that appears like two arrows, like a circle here, they are for us to synchronize all the Gradle projects. So click on it just to sync the changes, and click again in the little elephant that we have in the right so you can close that window. We are not going to use it anymore because now it's running perfectly, okay? And then let me check here. Okay, my dear students, now we are going to start working in the changes. And let's see our presentation so that we don't miss anything. And the first thing that we're going to do is this. Refactor the name of our Hello application. And we're going to refactor it as my application. Remember that this application, this Java class, is the one that is going to start running our app, okay? So let's go and do that. Let me go again to our IntelliJ. And as you can see in my case, maybe in your case, no, but in my case, I cannot see the left panel here with all the folders that we have in the project. So you just go to the upper left corner and you're going to be able to see this little folder, this one. Click on it, and that way you're going to be able to see all the folders that we have in our project. And I'm going to expand. Check. I have the GUI login for, which is my project in this case. I'm going to expand this folders so I can see all the folders that I have in that project. We are not going to expand these ones because they are the libraries. Let's see, check. Here we have a lot of libraries, but we don't need to expand this. We're going to keep working with these ones, okay? And mainly with the one that says SRC. Remember that this is the shorten of source. So expand source, and then main is already expanded. Expand Java, and then expand resources. And when expanding resources, you're going to be able to see that you have the folder com, the folder example, the folder GUI login for, and inside the fxml file. This is the path where we are going to create all the fxml files that we are going to create in this practice. And in the Java folder, we have the com, but if we expand the com, we're going to have exactly the same path, as you can see, com, example, GUI login. And inside GUI login, in the case of my Java folder, I have the classes, the Java classes that these two are created automatically by IntelliJ IDEA, but we're going to keep creating more classes here that we are going to use, and we are going to place them exactly in the same path, okay? Now, in order to refactor the Hello application, which is this one, we are going to select it. Do not open it, but, well, it's already open here. But you're just going to right-click, and then we are going to select the option Refactor, but just hover over, go straight, and then go to the next panel with options, and we're going to select the one that we have in the upper part, the first one that says rename. Click on it, and here it appears the current name, and we are going to change it for my application. That way we are going to remember that this is the class that is going to run our application, okay? This is like the main application class. But in this case, we're going to name it as my application. Be sure that all the options are checked because we want to refactor the name of our class in all the files of our project. As well as, please be sure that in the next option, the one that says scope, says project files. Once you are sure about all these things, click in the button that says refactor. Okay, and now we can see that instead of hello application, it says my application here, as well as in this working area. And remember that we have to go to the build.redl.kts file. And let me remember where was it. Was in the line 30 something. Let me check. Where we have to do some changes as well. Let me check. I already found it, my dear students. It is in the build Redl KTS file, and it is in the line 30 in my case. And remember that it says here, com.example.gui_login for .hello application. But instead of hello application, it should say my application. Okay? I tried to run it, and it sends me this error, specifying me that it couldn't open the hello application with the same path that we have here, which is the one that we have here. Now, if I try to run it again, it is going to run with no problems. Now we can see the window. If we click it, we have the welcome message. Okay, this is, remember, the code given automatically by IntelliJ IDEA, but we're going to change everything so we could have our login and welcome pages and change from one to another. Okay, So we already refactored the name of our Hello application into my application. We do the changes here. Then let's go back to our presentation so we don't miss anything. And we are going to start working in SceneBuilder, which is what we did the last class. We are going to design the login page in SceneBuilder. And let's go. We are going to get something like this, both with your own, the colors that you like, the fonts that you like. Okay. Now let me open it again. IntelliJ idea. This is one. And then we can close now the build Gradle KTS file. So we don't have a lot of files open here. And I'm going to keep working in the FXML file. Remember that the FXML file is the one that looks like the HTML and where all the styles are created. Check that we have like tabs. For example, here it says label and button, and it is importing some libraries. And right now we have few components or few nodes included because this is the example given by IntelliJ IDEA. Let's go for the ones that are not able to open this file in SceneBuilder. You're going to use SceneBuilder in this screen, okay? But I am going to open my Hello View FXML file with SceneBuilder. So I right-click over the FXML file, and in the last option of the menu that appears here, it says open in SceneBuilder. So I click in open in SceneBuilder and I wait few seconds for SceneBuilder to open it. Okay. And here I have it in SceneBuilder, but you should have the same thing if you are working in IntelliJ IDEA. Okay. So we're going to delete, remember that this is a container. We have in the left panel, we have the containers, we have the controls and some other options. Sorry, but mainly we are going to use contents and containers and controls. We're also going to keep watching the hierarchy tree here in the left panel. And also, let me check if you can see it. Here in the bottom, we have an option that says controller. If you click on it, it is going to display this space for you to select the controller. Right now, we're going to do that in a while. But now I am going to delete this container because we are going to use a different one. And remember that in this case, the root node is this one, the vertical box. So select the vertical box and you can right click and delete, or you just, in my case, I can press the key Supreme and it is going to be deleted. But if no, just do it like this, delete. And now we have nothing in our working area. So I want you to go to the containers option. Remember that if you go to controls, you can open them here. But right now we need a container. So in the containers, we are going to look for the anchor pane. Here we have the anchor pane. Just click on it, just hold the click, don't release, drag it to the working area, and it is going to be placed automatically in the working area. And here we have our anchor pane. And in that anchor pane, we are going to insert or include two labels. Let me look for the labels. Now, check that I'm looking for them in controls. Here we have it, the one that says ABC label. Drag it to the anchor pane. And let's name it right now. Remember that we have three places where we can name it. We can name it in the right panel, in the properties panel, or in the label that we have in the working area, or in the left panel. Okay, let me double click here in the label so you can see, and it's going to be our username. Enter. And now check that we have the username here in the right panel, in the label, in the working area, and as well as in the left panel, okay? Then we are going to insert another label, and we're going to place it below username, more or less here. And now let's change the name in the left panel, double click in the label, in the second label in the left panel, and we're going to name it as password. Enter. Okay, remember if you want to drag it to the left a little bit so you can, so they could look ordered and with a good design. Okay, now we're missing to bring a text field here, and we're going to bring a password field in the other case. Okay, in the class I was telling you something wrong here. Just pay attention how we're going to insert this one, because we inserted two text boxes, and the second one should be a password box because when typing the password, it's going to show us dots instead of the letters of the password. Okay, so this is important. Let's do that so you can see how we are going to do that. So we go to controls again, and we look for text. So we go to the T. Remember that they are ordered in alphabetic order. ST. Text area, text field. Okay. Text area is when the user is going to type like a paragraph. Okay. But in this case, text field is the good one, the correct one. Okay. And in that text field, remember that we are going to type an identifier. So remember that in the right panel, we have three options: the properties pane, this other one, which is the layout pane, and the last one is the code. When clicking the code pane, it's going to appear this all these options. And in FX ID, we are going to type, if this is a text, we're going to type TXT to identify that this is a text user with capital letter U. And let me show you that in the presentation, you have those options. For the username, you're going to type TXT user. For the password, we're going to type TXT passwd as identifiers. And for the login button, btn, login. So for all the buttons, we're going to use btn. For all the text fields, txt. And this is a password field, but anyway, with txt, because this is a text in the end. And on action, we're going to use btn as well, because this is also a button, okay? And in the hidden label that we're going to see in a while, lblmsg, because this is going to be a message, okay? So let's go back to the IntelliJ idea. Sorry, to SceneBuilder. Let me open my SceneBuilder, okay. Okay, so right now we have the TXT user, and now we're going to look for the password field with P. And we have to go up. Where it says password field. Here I have it. And check that we can see three dots. It's because when the user types the password, there is going to appear dots instead of the letters of the password, okay? And we're going to do the same thing. Here, we're going to type in the identifier TXT with capital letter P, A, S, W, D, passwd, okay? Enter. Then, we're missing to insert here the button. So let's look for the button. I think it's the first option in the controls. So drag the button. We're going to place it here. And I'm going to double click inside the button so I can change the name. And instead of button, I'm going to name it as login. Enter. Okay. And then we are going to, the button, sorry, the identifiers. In the FX ID, we are going to type BTN and with capital letter, with L, login. So this is BTN login. And on action, we are going to type BTN login again with capital letter L and then click with capital letter Z. Just let me check if I am writing the correct thing. BTN login click. And in the presentation we have, so we could have the same thing. BTN login click. Okay, and BTN login. Okay, we are doing it correctly. And now let me go back to the IntelliJ. No, it was in SceneBuilder. Okay, we are missing the legend that is going to say invalid credentials. Let me check the presentation just to have the same thing. This is invalid login credentials. Okay, this is the label that we are going to create right now. And let's go again. Let's go back to the SceneBuilder. And we're going to look for a label, a normal label. This one. And double click in the label and we're going to write invalid login credentials. Enter. Now it's time to format more our login screen. Remember that we have the anchor pane and we can change the color of our anchor pane. Okay, so select the anchor pane. Be sure that you have selected the anchor pane and let's go to the properties panel, which is the first one. And there, let me check. Here we have the style in the section that says JavaFX CSS. Is where we are going to be able to change the background color, the border, the width of the border, the color of the border. Okay, so click in the section that says style, and the first option that appears is the background color. Select that one, and remember that here you can include any color, but if you want to find like a nice color, which is different than the colors, that the ones that we have here, for example, yellow. It's going to be a very like very yellow color. So let's go and look for, let me open my browser. Let me open a new window here. And here we can look for hexadecimal code color table. Okay, it is this one, the one that says HTML color codes. Remember that we just this one in the classroom. And I'm going to use a pink color. And if you go, nothing here in the center of the window, but if you go in the upper part, you're going to be able to see like more soft colors or harder colors. And here, I'm going to select this one, or maybe this one. This one. Here you select the hexadecimal code, but select it with your mouse. Control copy. Once it is appearing in the screen, copy. And then let's go back to our SceneBuilder. And we paste it in the color section and then enter. And when you click enter, the color is going to be added in the background. Okay. But what happens if you want to change or if you want to have a border and to change the width of the border, we need more spaces where we can change the style. So we have to select, to click in the plus sign that which is besides the hexadecimal code. Click on it, and there is going to appear another row for us to add more styles. Okay, so in this case, we're going to add, it was with the border background size. We have to look for the background border. It says FX border width. First, the border color. Let me check, where is it? Border. Here it is. FX border color. And now we're going to type black. Enter. And now you can see a tiny border here. It could be like that if you like it. If you like a tiny black border. And if you want to change the width of the border, just click again in the plus sign, which is besides the black color. So we can add another row for us to select a different style. And instead of the color, the border color, we're going to look for the border width, which is, let me check where it is, border width, here. Okay. And there we're going to select, for example, type 2, and if you enter, and then you're going to be able to see if you like that. If not, change it for 3, enter, and that way you're going to be able to see which is the one that you like the most. Okay, and okay, we're done with the anchor pane. Now remember that we can change also the size. Now we're going to change the font, the size of the font, the family font. So select the username label. And in the properties panel, we have the option that says font. Click in the arrow so we can see all the options that we can change. This one. And where it says family, we are going to be able to select any of the ones that you have here. I'm going to select Arial Black because it looks like in bold, and I like it. And then 18, the size 18. And I'm going to move my label so it looks better, as well as my text field. You can place them wherever you need. And then I'm going to do the same with the password. Okay. And I select the password label and I change the font in the same place. Instead of system, I'm going to select the Arial Black and the size 18. Okay. Okay. And then the login, the same thing. We can change the font for the button. And I'm going to select the Arial. Now Arial Narrow. No, Arial. I think it is okay, Arial Black. Yeah, better. And the size, instead of 18, 14. Good. Now let's go with the invalid login credentials label. And we are going to change its color. Here, below the font option, we have text field. And instead of black, we are going to change it for red. Here, it's okay, that one. And now we're going to change the font family for Arial Black. And the size 18. Good. So it's better. Now the user is going to see it better. And my dear students, remember that we have to make this label invisible because it is only going to appear when the user, select the label, please. When the user type a wrong password or a wrong username, this legend is going to appear, okay? So having the invalid login credentials label selected, scroll down in the properties panel, and you're going to be able to see this option that says visible, okay? Uncheck it because we want it to be invisible for now, and when the the user types something wrong, it is going to appear. Okay, I think that we are done with this, with the design of our login graphic unit interface, but we are missing something important. Now let's see to the presentation, and let's see. Change the size. Yes, we are missing to change the size of the anchor pane, because when running it, let me check. Just remember, the width will be 600 and the height 400, okay? So let's go back to our scene builder, and apart from that, let me check what is going next. We have to refactor the name of the hello controller. Yes, because we are going to specify in the scene builder, which is going to be our controller. So we have to change it to login controller, okay? So first we go and we are going to change the size of the anchor pane. Let's go back to the scene builder. And having selected the anchor pane, we scroll down in properties. Let me check. Okay, it is in the layout. Yeah, here it is. It already says, in my case, 600 width and 400 height. Okay, so this is okay for me. And now we are going back to IntelliJ, my dear students. But first, okay, in order to save the changes here in SceneBuilder, we are going to save them again in a while. But just click Control S, and you're going to be able to see this blue legend that says that the changes have been saved. So before going to a different window, I like to save the changes. And now going back to our IntelliJ, we are going to refactor the name of our controller. So instead of hello controller, it's going to say login controller, okay? So select in the left panel. Remember that this is a Java class, and this is not an fxml file. The fxml file are the ones for the GUI, for the graphic unit interface, remember? And then right-click in the hello controller, refactor. Let me look for the refactor. Here it is. Do not click in the refactor, just go straight and select the upper option that says rename. And again, we're going to find this window, and instead of hello controller, we are going to type login with capital letter, login controller. My dear students, remember that the name of the classes in Java must be written with capital letters. This is a good practice in Java, okay? So we can identify that they are classes. So login controller, you have to check all the boxes here, all the options. Just be sure that in this option it says project files for the scope and refactor. And now the name is already changed or refactored. Let me make a little bit bigger this thing. And then here, check that the name of this controller already changed for login controller. And okay, my dear students, now we already have changed or refactored the name for our hello controller for login controller here and here. And we have to go back to check the presentation, my dear students, so you can see the next step. It is this one. Select the controller class in SceneBuilder, okay? So how are we going to do that? And after selecting that, we are going to save the changes. And then we're going to do something interesting. Let's go back to IntelliJ. To SceneBuilder. Okay, here. Now, remember that I told you that in the left panel, we have, apart from the hierarchy here, we have the controller in the bottom of the panel. Click where it says controller, and we have to select a controller class, which is the one that is going to control this fxml file, okay? So click in the little arrow that we have besides, and it is going to appear this. Click on it, and it's going to appear com.example.guilogin4.hello controller. But what is wrong here, my dear students? Can you see the error? So we have to change something. So we have to change, instead of hello, as we already refactored for login, we have to type capital letter L, login, controller, okay? And remember that this is the syntax that we use in like to make you see that the login controller is inside the GUI login 4 folder, and GUI login folder is inside the example folder, and the example folder is inside the com folder, when all the dots are separating each of the folders, okay? Once we have this, we're going to save this SceneBuilder file. So Control S, Control S. And then once we have saved this, the changes here, we are going to select the view option in the menu, in the upper menu that we have here in the same window. Click in view, and then go to the last option, the one that says show sample controller skeleton. And this is very interesting. Here we have like the code for the controller. So we're going to copy this code, and we're going to paste it in our login controller class, the one that we have in IntelliJ, okay? So here we have the button that says copy. Copy all this skeleton. And then let's go back to IntelliJ. And let's be sure that we are placing the login controller, not in my application Java, okay, but in the login controller.java. We're going to select what is written here, all that code, supreme, and we're going to paste Control V, the skeleton that we copied from SceneBuilder, okay? And as you can see, check. It says the package, and this is the path where this login controller is being placed, okay? In the folder com, and then in the folder example, in the folder GUI login 4, and then the login controller. We are importing all these libraries because we are including an event in the bottom. Remember that we specified on an action when the user clicks the login button, it's going to happen something. That's why we have this importing this library. We are importing the fxml library because we took this from an fxml file, or they are going to be related, linked. We are also including the library for the button because we have a button, the password field, and the text field, okay? And then here we have the class login controller. It starts here. And in each of these codes, we have the add fxml file. Okay, and then we have the class. Inside the class, we have the add fxml. For example, here, private button. This add fxml is telling JavaFX that it has to go and look in the fxml file for this controller. And as you can see, we have for the button that we created, for the password field, for the text field, and for the action event that we're going to have when the user clicks the button. Okay, now let's see what is next in the presentation. Okay, we already have selected the controller. We copied the skeleton. And now we are going to refactor the Hello View FXML file. This is an FXML file, and there is going to be like an extra option that we have to do, like an extra step, which is kind of different. Remember that we already refactored 2 classes, but now this is an FXML file. Let's see how we have to do that, okay? So let's go back to Java. And then here we have our Hello View FXML. And we want this FXML file to be named as login FXML. And the name of this file is going to be login, but we are going to write it with, we're going to start writing it with lowercase letters, not with uppercase, because this is not a class. Only the classes are going to be written in uppercase letters, okay? Now, let's see, we select the Hello View FXML file, right click, and then refactor, and then rename. And here we have our screen. And instead of Hello View, we are going to type login with lowercase letter L. And check these 2 options, project files in scope, and then refactor. And you are going to be shown this option here. Let me check. Here, my dear students, you have to go in at the left bottom of this of the screen. It is going to appear this option that says refactor. And yes, you are going to click refactor. So it could finish refactoring the name of our FXML file. And now it's been refactored. Okay. Now let's go back to the presentation. We already did this. And then, okay, here I am just showing how you should, it should look like your, all your folders in the left panel. And let me show you in our IntelliJ idea. In our project, here you have them. Okay, and yes, inside the GUI login for, which is inside the Java folder, we have the login controller and my application. These 2 are classes, Java classes. And in the resources folder, we have the login.fxml file. Okay, now let's continue. The next thing that we're going to do is go back to SceneBuilder to copy the controller skeleton. Copy the controller skeleton. And we already did that. Let me check something, my dear students. Let's go back to IntelliJ and let's see if it is running, okay? I'm going to run it. Okay, we have an error. Let's see which is this error. Well, we have to. Okay, my dear students, we're getting this error, but I can see that in the FXML file, the login FXML file, it is related to the label. And yes, it's because we didn't type, I forgot to type the FX ID for that controller. So let's go back to SceneBuilder. Okay, and then the label is here, but it is invisible, remember? So we're going to the hierarchy panel that we have in the left. Select it, the one that says label, invalid login credentials. Okay. And then go to the right panel where we have the code panel and check that in the FX ID, I forgot to type label LVL. And then let's see in the presentation. message. I remember. LBL with capital letter M, S, G. Okay. And this is going to be the FX ID for the invisible label. Then just confirm that in the controller, in the left panel, it says login controller here. And then let's save the changes. Control S. And this blue legend says changes saved. And again, we go to the view menu. Select the last option, the one that says show the skeleton, the controller samples controller skeleton. And let's see that it is now included here. Here, can you see? We were missing this one. Sorry, my dear students. I'm going to copy again the skeleton. Then we go back to the IntelliJ idea. And let's open our login controller class here. And I am going to select all that we have here, and I'm going to paste the new skeleton, the one that contains the label for our invisible message, okay? And also check that here we have a new library, which is to control the label, okay? Let's Control S, and okay, let's try to run this again. Okay, we are having again the error. Okay, my dear students, I found that it was created in the left panel, login fxml file apart from the hello view. Instead of refactoring, it was created this one. So what I'm going to do is to eliminate the hello view. And it says delete. Yeah, say delete with user search. Okay. I'm going to keep the one that says login fxml. I already closed the SceneBuilder of the hello fxml file. And I'm going to reopen this one, the login with SceneBuilder, because it already contains all the changes that we have done here. So we still have our pane, anchor pane, in the username text field. Let's just check that we have in the code, the txt user. In the password field, that we have the txt passwd. In the login button, that we have the btn login. And on action, that we have the btn login click. And we are missing the invisible label. I'm going to select it in the left panel. And remember that in this one, we should have a label LVL, capital letter M, S, G. Okay, enter. Okay, now we have the ID for the invisible label. And the controller, my dear students. Let's see. Remember the option that we have in the bottom of the left panel, the one that says controller. Open it, and we should have here this, the com.example.gui login for .login controller instead of hello controller, login controller. Okay. Now let's save. Control S. The changes are being saved here. And again, I'm going to open the view. Let me show you so you can see here the menu. I'm going to open the view menu, select the last option so I can see the skeleton. And now, my dear students, it it is telling us here in the upper part for login.fxml controller. It used to say the hello view instead of the login. Now it is correct. I'm going to copy the skeleton. I go back to IntelliJ. Okay. And in the login controller, Java class, I'm going to delete all this code and paste the new one. Okay. It is included the invisible identifier, invisible label and identifier. Okay. As well as the libraries. Good. And now let's try to run this. Let me save, Control S, and then run. Excellent, my dear students. Now it's running. And check. We have to change the size of the screen so we can see all the page completely. Okay. We are going to close, but it's running. Okay. And we're going to change the size in a while. Okay, not right now. If you want to change it right now, it's here in the My Application class. Instead of 320, the width is 600. And the height is 400. Okay, Control S, and then we run. So you can see it completely here. Remember that we are not going to be able to see the invisible label because it is invisible. Right now, it is doing nothing if we click the login button because we have to code that part. But at least it is running. Everything now is correct. I'm going to stop running the project now. And we're going to continue in the second part of this practice. Good, my dear students.